Sorry. Sorry. It's been a Murphy's Law kind of day. So today is 2/22/22. It's a power number, it's a master number. Maybe that has something to do with it, but everything for me thus far today has been sideways. So let me just let me just take a breath. Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Today is, as I just said, the 22nd day of February. This is the 37th episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. I'm your host. I'm Sekou Wright. I'm a professional creative and the creator of what we're now calling the Hero Ministry Movement. That's been my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community and people in general, because other people have said that they've been inspired or uplifted by some of the things that we're talking about here. So again, this is season 3. The theme of this show has gradually become abundance and wealth and affluence. And season 3 is doing. The theme is doing. And that's the idea that we got to make something happen. We've been talking about a lot of theory, and now let's make that theory practical. Let's do something. So, quick disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer nor my financial advisor. So do your own due diligence, but watch me talk about what I've learned, and in many cases, the things that have not gone well for me, in hopes that you'll learn from my experience and that you'll gain a better understanding of how to create your own financial future. All right. So all that said, if this show provides any value, please like, please comment, please share, and please donate. And check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. That emphasis was for me, not for you. Eastern time, because again, I'm on the Eastern time zone right now, but I'm used to doing the show in the Central time zone, so that threw me off. One of many things that threw me off this morning. Anyway, moving on. So clearly, I'm still on location. I'm in Florida. Hope you like my fancy new shirt. I just got it yesterday, and that's a story in and of itself. You know what? Let me just start these stories. So yesterday, if you saw my show yesterday, here I was talking trash about it not being hot. Me jogging, it hasn't been hot, and I did too much. I did too much. By midday yesterday, it was blazing hot, so hot, in fact, that I bought this shirt. So what happened was I'm having some tech issues. So I found a computer place locally, and I went to the computer place, and they had a sign up that said they'll be back in 15 minutes. I can't remember the last time I've been to a place that did that, but I imagine it has to do with the fact that so many people are not working these days. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. While that sign was up, I went to go find this shirt because I was like, I got to get some short sleeve because it was hot yesterday. And this morning when I did my run, I waited too long. I ran in the 7 o'clock hour, and thus far I've been running in like 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So, usually done by 7. But today, whew, that heat heard me talking trash yesterday, and it came for me today. So anyway, I'm gonna get back on track, but I just wanted to mention that because that threw me off yesterday and is carrying over into today. But I like my new shirt. Hope you like it too. Moving on. Okay, so let me shout out the heroes in the chat. I got a couple comments here. Shout out to Nan. Shout out to Tim. Yep, that date, 2/22/22. Appreciate it, Tim. Appreciate it, and appreciate the crown, Gladys. All right, shout out to you guys for watching live. I appreciate you, and shout out to everybody checking in later to watch. Okay, so Hero Ministry Movement news. Let's talk about the run streak that I was already talking about. So today is day 267, and I did 2 miles today. What is programmed, what's on the schedule for half marathon training for today is 4 miles. Not just 4 miles, but a fast 4 miles. I did not do any of that. I did a slow 2. And that wasn't even my intention. My goal was to run 3. Never mind that the schedule is 4. I was thinking I'm going to run 3 again because I've run 3 miles a day for the past several days. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do another 3 mile run. But the time zone tripped me up. So usually I go live at 8:45 a.m. Central Time, right? And again, I'm in Eastern Time right now. But when I saw the time ticking towards 8:45, something in my mind said, "Oh, gotta start the show. We don't have enough time to run another mile." And so I closed my mile out, and then I was like, "Oh wait, oh, hey, I'm live." All right, that's my pop checking in on popping out on the patio. So shout out to Pop. So let's see, where was I? Oh, so the run. So I cut it short because I thought that I didn't have enough time left. And then I got back and I was like, oh no, I got all this extra time. And I started feeling bad about myself because I didn't do 4 miles and I didn't even do the 3 miles. I did 2 miles, right? And I did a slow 2. And then I got a text from somebody that was like, did you ever think that you would get to day 267? And I was like, huh, no, I did not. As a matter of fact, I never thought I would get to day 30, to be honest with you. My original goal in June of last year was 30 days, 1 mile a day for 30 days. But I didn't think that I would make it, to be honest. I thought, let me just try for it. But I didn't believe that I could make it. That was just 30 days. And then at the end of that 30 days, I ended up with 62 miles, which boggled my mind. I was like, no, I should have 30 miles. I've been doing this 1 mile a day for 30 days. I should have 30 miles. But I ended that month with 62. And that was one of the first things that forced my concept of myself to grow. But back to today, I got this text message saying, did you ever think you'd make it to day 267? And I was like, no, I did not. And that helped me reframe my feeling bad about myself in the moment. Because despite the fact that it had been 267 days, I was feeling kind of low about the fact that I did not do either of my 2 goals. I didn't do 4 miles today and I didn't do 3 miles today. So I was feeling low about that. And this is what I discovered. Quick sidebar. If you've been watching the show, you know I was just in Mississippi with Nissan and we had a press trip. We were celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Nissan Foundation. At one of the meals, the people at my table were asking me about my run streak and what I've learned. We had a really insightful conversation. And I hadn't realized I learned so much from this run streak. But they would ask me different questions and I would have answers. So fast forward back to today, what I learned today from my run streak is that you've got to win against yourself. You've got to win against yourself. When you win against yourself, it fills you with such a sense of accomplishment that it just radiates out like an aura. When I say to myself, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna run just 1 mile, just the bare minimum, but I go out there and I run a 5K instead, I come back ready for whatever, like ready for anything that comes at me that day, right? However, when I go out there and I say that I'm gonna run a 5K and I come back at 2 miles, I haven't won against myself. And despite the fact that I've been running every day for 267 days, despite the fact that I've already run a half marathon and I'm training for another, despite all the medals I've now gotten for different races, despite all of that, I still felt bad because I didn't win against myself. And that is a very important lesson for me, but for you too. Win against yourself in whatever it is. In whatever it is, like set a minimum threshold and then go beyond it. Push yourself to go beyond that threshold, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be exercise, could be anything. But win against yourself, and I promise you what you'll feel inside will make you want to feel that feeling again. You get a very big, robust, powerful feeling. And it will help you not have these situations like the one I had today where you lose against yourself. Because the next time I go out and I say I'm going to run 3 miles and I start to tap out at 2, I'm going to remember this day. I'm going to remember the day 267 and how me tapping out early led me to feel some kind of way despite all the other things I've achieved. And I will push to win against myself in all cases, and you should too. Now, I did not expect that sidebar to go so long, but I guess it was just on my heart this morning. And matter of fact, Kevin Hart is really funny, but like most high achievers, he has a lot to say about high achievement. And if you go and you Google Kevin Hart, not comedy, you go Google Kevin Hart motivation or Kevin Hart inspiration, you'll find some really poignant things that he said. And today I'm thinking about this quote where he was talking about beating himself. He said his goal is to beat himself every day, and he's not worried about anyone else. And if he can continue to beat himself, he will constantly get better. And now these are my words now, and lead a life that you can't hardly imagine from where you are. Now that was a little awkward, but you get my point. So Kevin Hart got to where he is by trying to beat himself every day, not just in comedy, but in life, in exercise. Some of you may know he has a physical fitness show on YouTube, and he cracks a lot of jokes in that show. But if you just look at the episodes, he is experimenting with different types of ways of being fit all the time. So anyway, let me not go off on another tangent about Kevin Hart. You should check it out. Just Google Kevin Hart motivation and see what he has to say. The point is, winning against yourself is the most important thing you can do. It will build your self-esteem in ways you can't imagine. Boom. That's the end of that. I did not expect to say all that stuff, but I did. Okay, so getting back on track, charity run number 3 is chugging right along. We're at 64%, trying to get to 75%. Let's get to 75%. I was trying to share it this morning, but I don't know. Again, 22 is throwing me a couple curveballs. I couldn't share it this morning. So if any of you have it booted up or are willing to share one of my previous posts about the charity run, please do. I also reached out to Mr. Charles's neighbor this morning, so I'm eager to hear back from her and find out where he is in this process, see where things stand. And I'm hoping that no one in there knows about this charity run yet, that it'll be a surprise, and I won't spring it until fully. So please share, please comment, please get the word out. So because even the comments on the post, the way the algorithm works, if you comment on the post about Mr. Charles, it'll draw more attention to it on social media. So please comment, please share, please donate, all that good stuff. Okay, so where are we? Envelope challenge. I hope everybody's still rocking with the envelope challenge. Actually, what I really hope is that some of you have decided to get involved who weren't involved before, because again, it's got benefits on multiple levels. And one of the most significant levels is it cultivates the sense of there always being enough, there always being more. So get in the habit of transferring money from your checkings to your savings every day, in the same way that you're always taking money out by spending money every day. So let's do the randomizer. Again, I found this website that does a random number generator. I did pack my dice, but I can't find it right now. So, hit the generate button and see what we get. All right, it's rolling, it's circling, and the number is 6. Number is 6 today, so $6. You're moving $6 from your checkings over to your investment bucket. Okay, that's that. I just realized I was leaning really close to the computer because I thought you couldn't hear me, and then I realized I have my headphones on, so I can lean back a little. All right, so that is the number for today for the envelope challenge, and let's get into some abundance. Let's get into, Morning's In. Do we have anything for Morning's In? Yes, I do. So if you've been watching Rev Mel, she's been talking a lot about transcendental meditation. I first heard about transcendental meditation early in the pandemic. I read about it and I got curious and I looked it up, and it's shrouded in secrecy. So I couldn't find out much, but I found out that Oprah Winfrey believes in it so much that it is for her. Am I still here? Yeah, okay. Oprah Winfrey pays for her employees to take to be trained in transcendental meditation. And I have I've taken it on myself. And so yeah, I've been doing transcendental meditation for a couple weeks now, and it's been good for me. It's been good. It's a different type of meditation than other meditations that I've done, and yeah, it's good. I don't know what else to say, but when I thought about morning Zen, I thought about the fact that I did my meditation this morning, and the ideal number of meditations for transcendental meditations is twice a day, 20 minutes a day. So that's kind of like, that's a muscle, that's building a muscle. So even if you're not doing transcendental meditation, I would urge you to up your meditation game to 20 minutes and then up it to twice a day, morning and early evening. Well, whatever you want to do, but twice a day. All right, I am all off tangents today. Let me get back on track. Okay, morning Zen. I'm recapping the 4 agreements because I'm recapping them for myself and hopefully for you too. There's 4 simple things that require willpower to practice. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. If that seems too grand and lofty, be impeccable with your word to yourself. Say nice things to yourself. That's an easy way to make it concrete. Say nice things to yourself today, Tuesday, 2/22/22. Say nice things to yourself. Number 2, take nothing personally. Today, all day, take nothing personally. You will see how much willpower it requires. Number 3, today, all day, don't make any assumptions. All day. Don't make any what? Yup, any assumptions all day. It requires willpower. And finally, number 4, do your best all day. Whatever it is you're doing, try to win against yourself. Circling on my earlier comments about my charity run. Win against yourself all day. Okay, so I'm going to push on. I was going to read a quote. No, I'm not going to read a quote. But I realized that I haven't done anything Black History Month here. I did screen my film on Rev Mel's show earlier in the month, but I haven't said anything about Black History Month here. But something did kind of float across my desk this morning. I was reading Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. So there's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, the book that most of you know. There's also Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, which was written by Dennis Kimbrough. Yes, by Dennis Kimbrough. Yeah, by Dennis Kimbrough. And I was reading it this morning as part of my morning Zen, and I came across this story. So this will be my first Black History Month moment. And it's also tied into wealth, abundance, etc. Okay, so this is a from slavery to riches story. And already that's enough. From slavery to riches. Okay, so this is about a man named Alonzo Herndon. Now, the funny thing about this is it's already highlighted, which means I've read this before, but I have no recollection of it. So it just reappeared in my world at the right time. So, okay, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to summarize. So Alonzo was born into slavery, and he was a slave. And the police, I don't know if you can hear the police, but they're zooming by. So he was born into slavery and was freed at the age of 7. And then his first job, quote unquote, was working for his former owner, doing the same labor, same backbreaking labor. They sound really close. Oh, there they go. Yeah, they're coming right by. Hold on, let me mute myself. I told you it's been a really strange day. It's been a really strange day all day. All right, so the ambulance is gone. I'm back. Let me just make this short. Alonzo, born into slavery, freed at the age of 7, still worked for his owner doing backbreaking labor, but taught himself how to cut hair. And despite all the backbreaking labor during the week, he would cut other Black people's hair on Saturday. He did that for many years, got better and better, started making more and more money, moved to Atlanta, and opened a barbershop, made the barbershop better and better and better. was the first Black person to open a business on Peachtree Street. And those of you who know Atlanta know that Peachtree Street is the street. It's the main thoroughfare that runs through town. It's like Broadway in New York. Well, Broadway in any city, really. Broadway is always the main drag. So it was a big deal that his business was the first Black business to open on Peachtree. Made a ton of money as a barber, and then wasn't satisfied with that. Accidentally ended up in insurance and created an insurance conglomerate. Yeah, he became an insurance mogul to the tune of what was the number? Let's see. Can I find it? Yeah. So when this book was written, the insurance agency that Alonzo created was worth $135 million. So we're talking about somebody going from slavery, like literally from slavery. And he was a slave the first 7 years of his life, which means those are the formative years. So imagine what that did to his psychology, to be born as property, to live as property in those early years where your subconscious mind is absorbing everything in the world around you, to overcome that sense of worthlessness, to become a multi-millionaire. It's really incredible. I don't know if he kept the barbershops or not, but he definitely moved into the insurance space, and he went from one location to 84 locations in just the span of a couple of years. So very cool story. Very cool story. That's my Black history moment, my first. And again, the man's name is Alonzo Herndon. Alonzo Herndon. Okay, so that's that. Moving on. Let's get to abundance. I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry about it. So let me just jump into that. I'm not going to do the affirmations. So let's get to it. Yesterday, I talked about creating a book. Let's downsize that a little bit because I want everybody to do it. I want everybody to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to create a pamphlet. Okay, a pamphlet. That sounds much more manageable, right? So we're all going to create a pamphlet, and this pamphlet is about creating another revenue stream. Because just a reminder, the average millionaire has 7 revenue streams. Now, even if that seems too lofty for you, you don't want to be a millionaire, you don't want to go through any extra effort, do it anyway. Get in the habit of creating revenue streams so you can talk to other people about creating multiple revenue streams. Be an advocate for us changing the conversation around money. Just do it. Just create a pamphlet. Okay, so that said, I want everybody to do this with me. Rev Mel has already said she was down, and that was yesterday when I was talking about a book, and I've downgraded it to a pamphlet. That makes it even easier. So, step 1, you gotta decide what you're gonna talk about. Now, to be clear, I am not suggesting that you learn something new and talk about that something new. I'm talking about creating a pamphlet around something that you already know. Now, in my case, I told you my story yesterday, but someone here asked me how to get in the stock market recently. And I discovered in answering her that I've learned a lot over the past 3 seasons of this show about how to get in the stock market. And so what I said during that show was pretty concise. So I went on to Fiverr. I had somebody transcribe it. And then I realized that they just used the computer to transcribe it. So I could do that myself. And I don't know why, but I never would have thought of that if they hadn't done it. Anyway, so it's easy to have something transcribed if you've got video content, is my point, or audio content. And I know that's easier for me and Rev Melissa because we've got this platform and all we have to do is download the show and then re-upload it. But it's easy for you too because you've got devices. You've got a laptop, you've got a cell phone, you've got things around you that can record. All you need to do is turn it on and start talking. So 2 ways we can get started. Oh, actually, let's do this. Let's do this. I told you I was going to freestyle it today. So let's do this. Let's make a list, physically make a list of the questions people ask you the most. What do people ask you the most? So in my case, an example I just gave, I was asked how to get in the stock market. And believe it or not, I get that question more and more these days because I've been talking about the stock market in this space. I love that I'm getting known for that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, make a list of the questions that people ask you the most. 10 questions that people ask you the most. And see which of those 10 questions resonates most with you. Like, which one do you enjoy answering the most? That is good, solid homework. Write down 10 questions. Write it down longhand too. Write it down longhand as opposed to typing it up. My impulse is always to type it up, but there's a difference in what happens in your brain when you write it down. I don't know what it is, but I've experienced it. Write it down longhand. 10 questions that people ask you the most, and put an asterisk by which one of those things you like answering the most. Yeah, let's start there. And I'm going to stop right there before I start rambling and going off on another tangent. So with a little tiny little bit of time that I have left, I'll just continue to talk about my process so far. So I downloaded the episode where I talked about buying stock for the first time. I uploaded it to a program. No, I'm sorry. I hired someone on Fiverr who transcribed it. And how I knew he used the computer program instead of like listening and typing it out is how it spelled my name. Because if he'd watched it, he would have seen my name on the screen. But my name was spelled. It was crazy. I'm not even gonna tell you how it was spelled. It was like 4 different words. But anyway, so that's how I knew. So anyway, I got the transcript back, and now I've just been editing it. And it's so much easier to edit when you've got a block of content. It's so much easier. And I've been making some shifts, editing, and I feel pretty good about it. I feel like it's a pretty solid piece of work around the idea of buying into the stock market if you have no idea what to do and you're coming at it for the first time. So I've been enjoying that process, and I've been enjoying the refining of what I said whenever that was a couple weeks ago. And also I've been thinking, oh, well, there's other things that should be noted. Like based on what I said, I should probably add this bonus item and this glossary term, this definition. And so the pamphlet is growing, and I'm excited about it. So same thing for you. Like you got your homework. Your marching orders are to write down 10 questions that you get asked often. And so in other words, what you're known for already, and then put an asterisk next to the questions that you like answering the most. Let's take it from there. Okay, anything else I want to tell you about my process thus far? No, it's just been fulfilling to see that I've got something to say. I've got a perspective about buying stock, about getting involved in the stock market. And my perspective is a little bit different than the perspectives that I've heard out there in the world. So looking forward to sharing that soon. All right, coming up next, we've got prayer time at 10:15, and then Sip with Rev Melissa coming up at 10:30. I'll be producing that show, popping in to say a word or two probably. And yeah, I hope your 2/22/22 is going well. Shout out to Rev Mel's daughters, her twin daughters. Today's their birthday, and my homeboy, Marshall, one of my date ones. Shout out to him. Today's his birthday also. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and log out before I start another ramble. Keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero. Remember that now is better than perfect. And I will see you tomorrow with your list of 10 things. Do your homework. Do your homework. Later.